A real challenge in selection interviewing is to develop information about the applicant's past experience, which is relevant to the job opening. Chances are the applicant will not have performed the same tasks as will be called for on the job. Furthermore, the applicant's experience may not have been gained in the same work environment. The interviewer relates past experience to present needs by asking about specific instances of task accomplishment which would provide evidence that the applicant possesses needed skill, ability, or knowledge. If, after repeated attempts, evidence of a particular skill cannot be elicited, the interviewer can then go on to other inquiries. A caution here would be to avoid asking leading questions. It is necessary for the interviewer to remain objective throughout. Maintain objectivity. Avoid leading questions. Do not lose control of the interview. Use the same schedule for all applicants. Do not settle for vague responses. Recognize exaggeration when it occurs. The end of the interview is a time to wrap up any loose ends. If there are gaps in an applicant's employment record, try to fill them in before time runs out and the interview ends. Let the applicant know what are the next steps in the employment process. Try to make the applicant feel at ease as he or she leaves your office. The applicant may have expectations about salary, advancement opportunities, travel requirements, or other career-related issues. A discussion of these will allow the applicant to straighten out unrealistic expectations and will allow you to judge the applicant's readiness to come to work for your organization. Steps in selection interviewing. Job analysis. Behavioral dimensions which are job-related. Question development. Conduct the interview. Evaluate interviewed data. Let's take a look at an interview. We will be looking at an applicant for an assistant manager position in a women's fashion store. The job entails selling fashion merchandise to customers in the 20 to 30 age range. The job analysis revealed the following tasks, behavioral dimensions, and knowledge requirements. Skill in conducting sales discussions with customers. Handles cash and electronic cash register. Does paperwork for returns, layaway, and exchanges. Ability to meet sales quota. Opens and closes the store. Supervises sales personnel. Knowledge of merchandise. Knowledge of display and merchandising technique.
Hello.
Oh, hi there.
Hi.
How are you today,
I'm
Sal?
fine, thank you, Miss Jones.
Why don't you take a seat? The traffic, Miss Jones. It's always terrible this time.
What the weather, Miss Jones?
I never get to see the weather. Did you have any problem finding my office?
Well, actually, I have been a customer here several times, so I kind of know my way
I thought you
around.
looked familiar.
And one of your salespeople directed me back here to the office.
Great, great. Well, let's talk a little business.
Okay.
The position available is that of assistant manager.
Okay.
Since the store is open 10 hours a day, the assistant manager needs to report to the manager.
Sure.
We have an excellent growth situation here at Lawrence Fashion, and what we're looking for is someone to maintain that growth. Now, the assistant manager will be involved with paperwork, merchandising, supervising cash sales, training and supervising employees, and of course our biggest problem, to prevent shrinkage.
I know what you mean.
Yes. Well, What I need to know from you right now is some background information on you.
Okay, well, I am familiar with the position, and I will be happy to fill you in on relevant experience, which I have had.
Great. Let's start with your education.
Okay.
Where did you go to school, and what did you study?
Okay. I graduated high school 4 years ago. I attended Stanhope High. I took the basic academic college preparatorial courses. I also took home economics, which I liked so much I decided to major in college. When I did go to Lee Community College, I switched to fashion merchandising, however.
Oh, you switched from home ec to fashion?
Yeah, because I didn't see a lot of career opportunities in home economics. And I always liked fashion. It was just a natural transition for me to make.
Well, just how did you develop an interest in fashion?
Well, I started working at the clothes workshop in my free time, and I also worked there this summer. And since I worked there, I got a good discount on the clothes, and it helped me to sell the clothes. I found I liked having the clothes.
What can you tell me about your perceptions of the current fashions?
Well, I've been following the Japanese designers. I really like the full sleeve effect. It does a lot for women of all sizes. I like the sweater look. It's in this year. So many are from Italy, China, and all over the world. You know, the headlines are up, and so is the stock market.
I always like hearing about the latest fashion trends, and it's so important to keep up on them. I'd like to get back to your education, if I may.
Okay.
Could you tell me what courses you took that would help you in the assistant manager's position?
Sure. As I mentioned, I was a fashion merchandising major. I also took marketing. I learned about retail sales, point of purchase, advertising, display techniques. Got an A in the course. Another course I took was retail management information systems. Another practical course.
Well, it sounds like you have a solid foundation.
Yes.
I think you'd like to know that many of our successful managers are often offered buying positions in the home office.
That sounds interesting. I think I'd like a lot more store management experience before ever considering an office job, however.
You told me before that you had a retail sales experience. Could you just explain to me how you conduct a sales transaction on your job?
Sure. I would greet the customer, and I would take them around to see the different merchandise. If I felt they just wanted to browse, then I'd let them browse. I would also suggest things that I thought would be appropriate for them. You know, women were always easier to deal with. See, I'd take them to the back room, and once they start trying on the different clothes, they're hooked. You know, and the idea is to add on as many additional items as possible.
Tell me, did you have a sales quota?
Well, actually, no, we didn't have a sales quota.
I see.
But if you wanted to be a full-time employee, you had to make sure you were the better salespeople. When I was working in the summer, I had to always make sure of my sales.
Did you get involved with other aspects other than selling?
Yes, I did. I learned about layaways, cash register, markdowns, ticketing. You know, sometimes we were so busy with the paperwork that we didn't have time for the customers.
I get frustrated by that, too.
Yeah.
What did you like most about the job?
Well, I think I really enjoyed working with the coworkers and the customers. The coworkers, we were encouraged to have a team spirit by the manager, gets credit for that. And the customers, it was always interesting to deal with them. Some of them were regulars and some of them were from out of town.
What did you like least about the job?
Well, I would think it would be ticketing and markdowns, and also shoplifters. You know, some people are not afraid to shoplift. I guess they don't think we'd prosecute, but they're wrong. It's also very difficult to accuse someone of shoplifting, though, because you just never know how they're going to react.
Can you tell me what your aspirations would be from this position itself?
Yes, I would like to get to the top. And management is a way to show that you have an ability. I know I can get along well with coworkers and customers. I want to show that I can get results as well as in a manager position. I want to be promoted, and I also want to be able to apply all my knowledge at a major business in a major city.
Oh, great. You'll find that Lawrence Fashions will pay you well.
Yeah.
And offers many opportunities to move up for our most talented employees. I'm not going to promise you anything. I do have your application. I'll be going over it in the next week or so.
Okay.
Are there any other questions?
Do you have any literature about the company?
Oh, sure. Here.
Oh, great.
This will tell you more about Lawrence Fashions and the entire chain. Well, thank you for stopping in, and I will be calling you.
Well, thank you very much. It sounds like a very interesting job. I hope to be hearing from you very shortly.
The time for evaluation of the applicant is after the interview. You have obtained much information about the applicant. Your task is to relate that information to the behavioral specifications which you developed prior to the interview. For example, a key behavior in the assistant manager position is skill in conducting sales transactions. Sally has indicated that she had a job involving retail sales and that she was one of the top salespeople in the store. Furthermore, Sally mentioned that she worked several summers in retail sales. So we can state that she was experienced in sales. Another important component of the job is knowledge about fashion and store products. Sally stated that she was a graduate of a fashion merchandising program and that she maintained a wardrobe of current fashions. On the dimension of fashion knowledge, we can rate Sally above average also. In the evaluation process, the interviewer goes down the complete list of requirements and behavioral specifications which was compiled before the interview. A rating is made for each dimension. There are a number of rating errors the interviewer should avoid. Making a rating where there is no interview data to support it. Being too lenient or too severe. Being swayed by personal preference, such as attraction to or liking the interviewee. Using an inappropriate rating standard, such as an ideal applicant. The halo effect, rating high on all dimensions because of a high score on one key dimension. All the interviewees will have been rated by the same method, and the ratings are clearly related to successful job performance. If there are several applicants for the job, you will choose the best qualified applicant. If there's only one applicant, you can compare the applicant with others you have interviewed on previous occasions and use the successful job performer as your standard. The final decision is a matter of judgment, but it's not strictly a gut feel decision. It is guided by ratings which have been documented and which are part of an objective selection process. Before we conclude this module, a word about equal employment opportunity. The selection interview is considered as a possible source of discrimination. The interviewer must be careful not to be biased in any way. This includes asking inappropriate questions which touch on race, gender, religion, age, handicap, or national origin. Where there's a job-related requirement, it is permissible to ask a direct question, however. In addition, do not introduce bias into your decision-making process. A biased selection decision can cause trouble for the organization. Many states have regulations concerning permissible questions on sensitive topics. Check to see if there's a set of guidelines for your state or your organization. Equal employment opportunity does not unduly constrain, but it does require that the interviewer be familiar with regulations. The interviewer can develop skill at finding out needed information without asking inappropriate questions.